If you're tired of living with a tight and painful neck, then look no further. These simple stretches are what I do every day to keep me loose and limber. Hey guys, Dr. Christy Ennis. Stretch number 1 today is going to work on that up and down motion. So I like to take my hands right behind my head, open up those elbows, and then I'm lifting that head up, and I even add a little bit of a pull there. From there, I'm going to tuck that chin down, bring those elbows forward, and if it feels okay, you can give a little bit of pressure to the back of that head. But as I'm doing this, I'm now stretching out my pecs, and then I'm stretching out behind those shoulders and shoulder blades too, which also make a big difference in how that neck feels. Now, if this is too much for you to do to start, totally just feel free to go ahead and just do that range of motion. As that starts to loosen up a little bit, you may find then that you can add that hand motion and arm motion in with it. So shoot for about 5 to 10 repetitions. Stretch número dos, I don't know how you say stretch in Spanish, is going to work on this upper trapezius and that side bending part of the neck. So I'm going to take my hand and actually place it behind my back, and then I'm going to tilt my head over towards the opposite shoulder. From there, I'm going to place that hand on top of my head. And if it feels okay, you can add a little bit of a pull. Not a lot. None of this should be painful, right? And you want to hold for about 3 to 5 breaths. Now, if any of that is challenging, there are ways to modify this one. Number 1, you can actually just add that side bending. If you want a little bit more to get this part of the muscle, if you turn that palm up and think about pressing that hand down towards the ground, you'll get a little bit more of a stretch. You can also do that hand behind the back without putting your hand on your head. That's okay too. If you feel like you are getting just a little bit stuck, to get a little bit more motion, if you take, right, this is my bending ability. I'm going to take this hand in this head, because I don't have another one. I'm going to push my head that way and my hand this way to do an isometric contraction for about 5 seconds, and then see if I can get a little bit more range of motion. And try to make sure that you do this on both sides. Our third stretch adds the rotation in there so that you can look behind you when you're driving. So my favorite way is to take my arm above so that I'm just placing it right here, stretching this part out, tilting the head away, and then rotating it towards the armpit. So sniffing the armpit with the opposite arm up. Now again, to modify this one, you don't have to add this arm in at all. You can just tilt and then turn, and you'll feel a stretch right on the side there. To add a little bit more, you can even add in a little press up through that elbow, and then you really are sniffing that armpit, let me tell ya. Good thing I put on deodorant this morning. So again, 3 to 5 breaths here, and make sure to do both sides.